Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Carla if you're new here, and I make videos about how I show up for myself in hopes of inspiring you to do the same. By showing up for myself, I transformed my entire life and I lost over half my body weight, hence the name HalfofCarla. If you like content that's associated with weight loss, mental health, personal development and fashion and beauty, and some bi-weekly vlogs, make sure you tap that subscribe button and turn the notifications on so you never miss a video from myself. In my journey to lose 180 pounds, I did a lot of soul searching. I have learned a lot of lessons and I've been maintaining that weight loss for the last 2 years. And in today's video, I'm going to be chatting you through 3 ways that I was making weight loss so much harder on myself. And let's face it guys, weight loss is already hard enough. We have these expectations, we have goals that we set for ourselves. We have this way of, it's hard work to do it. And sometimes we just make it so much harder on ourselves. And so what I want to share with you today is 3 of those ways that I made life harder on myself and how I overcame them. So hopefully just make weight loss a little bit easier. Let's dive in. The first one, making myself tired. And that had a massive negative impact on my weight loss and made life a lot harder for me. Lack of sleep and being tired had a massive impact on my ability to lose weight. I didn't realize how much sleep was going to affect me and how important it was, because it impacted my overall hunger levels and also my energy levels, which seems obvious, but the hunger levels, not so much. On a scientific basis, like really deep down into like the science base of it, having a lack of sleep or not having enough sleep helps your body to produce more ghrelin, and that's the hormone that makes you feel hungry. And it produces less leptin, which tells you when you're full. So if we're having the literal hormones going on in our body that are affecting our ability to lose weight, telling us that we need more food, if I didn't get enough sleep, I would end up being exhausted, and then I'd be looking for fuel. So your body it's a normal thing for your body to do. When you're tired, it's looking for energy, and our energy sources typically come from food. So we start to search for food and find ways that we can eat something that's going to make us feel better. A lot of the time that's going to be sugar and high processed carbohydrates or quick things or caffeine. And what that's going to do is cause a spike in our blood sugar, a spike in our energy levels, and then we're going to have a dip. If, even now to this day in maintenance, 2 years into maintenance, if I don't get enough sleep, I know that I will start to crave sugar. I will start to get hungry, because that's what our body is designed to do. It's to seek food to give us energy to survive. We are basically just animals. We need energy in order to survive, to survive the savannah or whatever. But for us now, on a day-to-day level, to get my son to Montessori, to do my job, to clean the house, to go out to speak to people, to do the shopping, to call the bank, all of these hundreds of thousands of things that we have to do. And if we're exhausted, we're going to be looking for quick hits of energy to help us get through that. So when I was losing weight, in order to ensure that I got enough sleep and that wouldn't negatively impact my weight loss, I had to create a new routine. And that routine, as you've probably seen before, I get up really early in the morning and I like to go for a walk. I get up and get out of bed before the devil knows I'm dead, before my world starts to wake up, so that I can have that time to myself and get my walk in and get my brain working for me. If I'm getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, I need 7.5 hours sleep minimum a night. I used to think I could survive on a lot less. I need 7.5 hours to sleep every night. That means I need to be going to bed about 8:30, 9 o'clock each night if I'm getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock. That might seem really early, and it is early, but I'm shifting my world to a little bit earlier. It's just shifting my daily routine. And on my routine, I will start to wind down the house around 7 o'clock. Start getting my son ready for bed, start getting my stuff ready for the next day, taking my makeup off, getting into my pajamas. We'll have already had dinner. And having those routines and having a set routine helps me in order to ensure that I'm getting into bed the whole way through my weight loss and in maintenance, that I'm getting into bed at a decent time so that I can have enough sleep and that I'm not going to be exhausted the next morning. And then on to number 2. The second way that I was making weight loss so much harder on myself was that I was snacking. Now, I obviously know that like snacking, yeah, that's going to impact your weight loss. Obviously, Carla. But I'm not talking about just like mindlessly eating food. What I'm talking about here is my need to graze, my need to eat food. I very rarely went over my calorie limit when I was losing weight. I liked to snack. I've always intermittent fasted, even before I was losing weight. So my eating window is flexible, but it's between 12 and 8 p.m. I would break my fast around 12 o'clock. I would normally have a salad and something else, and then I would have my dinner between 6 and 7 o'clock. They were my 2 main meals, and that would be like my calories divided up between 2 meals instead of 3, which most people would have. However, I always like to snack, specifically salty foods, things like tortilla chips. We all know I've talked about tortilla chips, but even when losing weight, I liked those like lower calorie packets of crisps. I like to have a bounce ball, which was like a protein ball. I like to have yogurt. There was different things, but I like to snack. I was very much a snacky, picky person. And those snacks would always be within my calories. However, what would happen was that because I knew that I wanted to snack, I would start to reduce the calories of my 2 main meals and therefore not actually be satiated in the 2 main meals. So I would sometimes, this is almost like a lesson I had to learn as well, is that I was making way for snacking, but instead of focusing on ensuring my nutrients with my food, ensuring that I was getting enough protein, ensuring that I was getting enough rounded fat, things that were going to make me feel good and that were going to nourish my body and make me feel satiated. And then what I would do is reduce that down. So not focus on that, but focus on and be able to have snacks that had empty calories. A 100-calorie packet of crisps is not going to give you any nutrients. It's going to feed your tongue. If you've ever seen Body Slims, you'll know that it's Jared's expression is feeding your tongue. Instead, what I needed to do was shift that around then. So have those more nutrient dense, higher calorie density meals, my 2 big meals, and then have a little bit of a snack if I wanted it, but not allowing myself to see if I was actually needing it and just snacking because I had saved those calories for it. And the final way that I made weight loss so much harder on myself than I needed to make it was, ironically, it might seem a bit strange or a bit surprising, but it was through perfectionism. I had this veil of getting everything right. As I said to you in point 2, I needed to ensure that I, was getting everything right every single day. And if I didn't do that, if I wasn't like on point, I started to have feelings of shame or feelings of failure. It started to create those negative impacts on me. And in doing so, I started to have a negative impact of my weight loss journey, and it started to make it seem like a harder thing. Perfectionism is both a positive and negative. In a way, it's kind of a double-edged sword. We tend to be, a type A personality is very good at doing things to the T, but that's not possible. We set unrealistic expectations on ourselves. I do, for sure, as a reformed perfectionist. I set these really impossible standards and goals for myself, and then when I don't meet those, I would create this sense of shame and a sense of failure, and that would negatively impact me and negatively impact my entire weight loss journey. This is something that I learned to stop doing beforehand, but say if I was losing weight before, my perfectionism would have wanted to make sure that I got everything absolutely right, and if I didn't get it absolutely right, then I'd be like, I messed up. That feeling of being messed up, then be like, oh, well, I failed anyway, so what's the point in continuing on? What's the point in, counting my calories for the rest of the day? Oh, I'll start again on Monday. That perfectionism mindset, that need to get everything right, and if you don't get it right, and if it's like an all or nothing, if you don't get it 100% right, then there's no point in doing it. It's complete BS, to be honest with you. It sometimes can be an excuse. It does not serve us. Instead, I changed it then to being make it the best that I can for that day. Show up for myself as to where I am and meet myself where I am on that day, as opposed to not, as opposed to trying for this idea of perfectionism. So say I was having a really bad day. Sometimes, or like I was exhausted and I didn't stick to point one. I was making my life harder on point one. Maybe I might go, okay, instead of doing my walk to the full nth degree to getting a personal best time on it, I'm just going to do my walk because that's the best that I can do today. So that's meeting myself where I am today. That's a more of a growth mindset than a perfectionist mindset. It's a compassionate mindset. It's helping me to understand and to make myself feel a little less shameful, a little less like I have to have it all together, because we're humans and we're not going to have it all together. We're not going to have everything right. And that is okay, guys. It is okay. And it's really important that we give ourselves that grace. So instead of focusing on things and getting them 100%, getting perfect every time, and then having these unrealistic expectations and having this stingent way of working, I meet myself where I am. So maybe give that a go if you find that. Meet yourself where you are. Be honest with yourself. Don't allow it to be an excuse to let yourself away with things, because that can happen. But just try to be a little bit more compassionate and a little bit kinder to yourself. Guys, I hope you've really enjoyed this video. I loved making it. This is the 3 ways that I was making weight loss so much harder on myself. If you have liked this video, you've got to the end of it, please leave me in the comments a way that you are making weight loss harder on yourself, or you can leave me an emoji of your choice. Let me know if there's anything else that you would like me to chat through or talk through in an upcoming video. Make sure you're subscribed, like this video if you have enjoyed it. Turn on those notifications, follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. And guys, I will love you and leave you and talk to you very soon. And please do not forget to show for yourselves. Bye guys.